me unmute myself. Hello, everyone. Welcome to an all new episode of the Development Sector Series, which is Devsectorseries. Make sure you like and share this live streaming so we can get it to more folks. I'm sure you guys have missed me because I have missed you too. This helps the algorithm to share with more people, as you all know, the new age of social media. In addition, just let me know where you're watching from so that I can thank you personally. Those of you on YouTube, please subscribe, click on the bell notification so that you can be notified of future streaming videos from me, such as the Development Sector Series and other organizational development information and current affairs concerning the civil society space. Guess what? On YouTube, we're at over 1,000 subscribers, and your support means so much. On Facebook, turn on notifications on this live video so that you can be notified when I go live in the future. Guess what? I know you've missed me for a while, but I have been recording a documentary called Untold Impact, which talks about the critical role of civil society in national development. It's going to be a really interesting one. We're going to be talking about nutrition. We're going to be talking about education, health, and marginalized groups in advocacy for their rights, women, youth, and persons with disabilities. So stay tuned. It's coming up really soon. Now, today, we are going to be talking about feeding the nation with Mr. Micheal Sunbola, the Executive Director of the Lagos Food Bank Initiative. Micheal is a practicing legal professional who decided to start a nonprofit organization that distributes food to the needy and provides nutritional resources for maternal and child health. So there's gonna be more information about that on his video bio, okay? So right now, I am going to play his video bio, and then we are going to go ahead and get started, okay? So see you shortly. Episode of Devsectorseries presents Micheal Sunbola, Executive Director of the Lagos Food Bank Initiative. In 2015, Micheal founded the Lagos Food Bank Initiative, a nonprofit nutrition-focused initiative committed to combating malnutrition and improving the health of pregnant women and infants in rural communities. The platform's primary goal is to reach out to children from 0 to 16, pregnant women and lactating mothers, patients of diet-related illnesses, extremely indigent families, seniors aged 50 and over, and marginalized low-income communities. The platform, apart from running a food bank, also through donations, establishes and supports farms in its host communities to sustain its programs. Lagos Food Bank Initiative has reached over 1 million beneficiaries with over 15,000 volunteers. Micheal is the managing partner of Pundit Barristers and Solicitors. He also holds a Bachelor's of Law degree, Criminal Law, Corporate Law, and a Master's of Law degree from both the University of Lagos. He is an arbitration practitioner and describes himself as one who has grounded knowledge in the practice and procedure of arbitration and mediation proceedings, insolvency, and debt recovery. He is one of the participants selected for the 2019 Obama Foundation Leaders Africa program. He is also a 2018-2019 Leap Africa Social Innovations Programs Fellow. Allow me to introduce to some and present to others, Mr. Micheal Sunbola, Executive Director of the Lagos Food Bank Initiative. Hello. So good to see you, Micheal. How you doing today?
Great. Many thanks for the work you do. Great introduction there. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. And these are topics that I'm very much passionate about. It gives me a sense of purpose and living. And of course, I'm happy to be part of this conversation. And of course, yeah. So let's get the ball rolling.
Okay, thank you so much for coming. I mean, it's, sometimes when we're busy in the trenches, how I heard about you, that there's a saying, let your work speak for you. It's your works, they speak for you and your team, and your array of volunteers, just working to just, make an impact. So again, great work. So let's hear your story. What made you start the Lagos Food Bank initiative?
Okay, so thank you very much for I'm passionate about this, and it didn't start that way though. Of course, as a legal practitioner, I just focused on my work. One of my goal finishing from law school was to become a senior advocate. In I think I set a goal for myself. I think 13 years after I'm done with law school, I should, so I've started my application to become a senior advocate of Nigeria. And, I was bent on it, and I started, putting everything together, and, and ensuring that, yes, I'm beginning to meet the criteria. So, um, you know, 5 years after my legal, I got my first job as an associate in a law firm. Um, you know, I started having this feeling of, what, there are a lot of problems around, problems of hunger, malnutrition, food insecurity. You know, I don't know. It just started coming from nowhere, and I'm like, this is why am I feeling this way? Why am I having this all why am I thinking towards this area? This has nothing to do with my background as a legal practitioner. Why I didn't study agriculture. I didn't go to any school of philanthropy or anything. But you know what? I just started having this feeling somehow, somewhere. And then I then started thinking towards what my background was like, some of the challenges I had. And then I realized that, what, I think I have to go back to my roots and, draw my passion and, draw a sense of need for me to now go ahead and solve this problem. But I didn't have any experience, in the non-profit sector. I've not even volunteered anywhere before. The development space was totally very new to me, but yet I decided that, what, let me just start from somewhere, and remembering some of those challenges I had growing up as well, food insecurity, sometimes you went to school, no food, you go to bed, no food. And all of that came back to my head, and like, what, I think I'm supposed to also be in this development space.
Okay, looks like there's a bit of a network glitch, but he'll be on shortly. But as you can see, his story is really remarkable on how he started the Lagos Food Bank initiative. Just amazing, amazing story on just dealing with those kinds of intervention. So he should be on shortly. So please bear with us. He should be on shortly. So let me just quickly check on that for a bit. Let's see. And as this is Nigeria, Africa. Sometimes we have network issues and technology as a whole. So he should be with us shortly. Okay. So just bear with us for a second. Let's see. Let's see. Should be on shortly. Please just bear with us. He should be on shortly. Okay. So again, we're talking about Untold Impact. We have a documentary that is coming up called Untold Impact. So while we wait for Michael, I am going to quickly share just a video snippet of some of the behind the scenes work that we've been doing on the uh, documentary. So just to kind of just check it out and see what we are doing. Let me see if I have it on here. Okay, let's check. Okay, I think it's on one of my files. So, but in case you've not seen it, just go on my social impact consulting Facebook page. Once you get on the Facebook page and look on the videos, you see I've and look on some of the videos and some of the reels. You would see some of the behind scenes footage that we've been working on with Untold Impact. So just a second. I think Micheal may be having a bit of a glitch with the network, but he should be on shortly. Okay. He should be on shortly. Okay, there he is. There he is. She should be up shortly. There he is.
I think
You are. We it's part of it. Network
I don't
issues.
know, the network locked me out. I'm trying to see whether it's
Really?
from my end. I think it's from my
Okay.
end.
Okay. I think I was still on. So and in this one thing I like about this streaming service that I use, StreamYard, is that it
Yeah,
never kicks you
I'm
out.
trying to see
If
if I
you are
can also have a
moving
backup so that
your
so
okay.
once it logs out, I'm able to quickly come back online because
Okay,
yeah.
no worries, no worries. So,
Okay.
so you were talking
Can
about
you
your
hear me?
story on. Yes, I can hear you. So you were talking about your story on your personal experience with
Okay.
food
Can you hear me?
security.
Can I go on?
Yes, I can hear you. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. I can hear you. Hello. Hello.
I think
Okay. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
I I can't hear
Can you hear
you.
me? You can't hear me. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay. So it looks like there's a bit of a glitch. Hello,
I can't
Michael. I
hear
can
you.
hear
I
you.
don't know if you can hear
I
me.
can hear
I'm
you
having
loud and clear. Let me send you a private chat. Okay. So it looks like we're experiencing some network glitches. Again, you guys, thank you so much for your patience. This means a lot. This means a lot. Let me see if I can download one of the um the streaming videos. So maybe you guys can take a look while we're waiting for Michael. Let's see if he's say okay. So we're still waiting for him. So let us do this. Hmm, just quickly do this. Hmm, let's quickly do this. Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll even show you because Michael was one of our guests for he's actually featuring in the Untold Impact documentary as well. But there's one I would like to let's see. Mm, let's see if I can download it. Let's see. Mm, so if he's still not on, I will share it with you. Okay, there he is. Hi, Michael.
Yes, I don't know. I think it's from my end, and I don't know why I'm having network today. Like, I'm trying to switch between networks, but I apologize
Okay.
for. Yeah.
No, it happens. It happens. It happens. So, so we're just gonna take it from but it looks like it's not as clear anymore. Your screen is not as clear anymore.
I've switched to another device, and the front camera isn't as clear as the previous
Okay, it's not
one.
as clear as yours. Okay, we can
So
work with it.
let's.
It's your voice we're looking for anyway. We'd like to see your nice looking face, but your voice will work as well. So
Goodness.
so what so you talked about you were talking about some of your lived experiences with food security and in terms of
Yeah.
how it inspired you.
Yeah. So basically, all of that like came to mind, and instead of just folding my hands and and then complaining of the problems and all of that, I just decided that what, I can do this irrespective of the fact that they have the background, the experience. The most important thing is for one to take action, and I think the universe is structured in such a way that if you take a positive step and you are very, very determined to move forward, the universe will come to your aid. And this is my own explanation of that happening. You see, you get to meet people, individuals, events happen, people you've never known before, people you don't know from Adam will come your way and to say, what, I want to be part of this. I want to support this. I want to join what you're doing, and then things begin to pick up, and that's how that has been the journey. It started in 20. We got registered in 2015, and in 2016 we kicked off, and it's been back to back of impacts. Several communities. So far, we've reached about 1.7 million people since we started, and lives have been transformed. Children have been taken out of the claws of malnutrition. We've transformed lives, generally speaking, and people have been given hope, to live for the next day. And I can say, God has actually visited people in the form of food, right? So, yeah, because really, how do you have hope? How do you know that yes, there's something called something to live for when you don't have hope, when you don't know where your next meal will come from, and that is the essence of the work we do and how we've been able to make life better for people on a large scale. So the most important thing to bear in mind is that really there are problems all around us, right? There is a reason to complain. There's a reason to always mention the government, right? But really we have a role to play in all of this, right? There is something for us to do. There's a way we can take action and take some steps, to make our world a better place. And that's what the steps I have taken, and I've been able to meet wonderful people in this journey who have also come on board to help and to make the work much easier.
Okay, thank you so much. So you were going into the Lagos Food Bank Initiative interventions. Can you just talk a bit more about the interventions that the organization does to impact so many lives in such a short period of time?
Okay, so far basically we run 6 key programs, right? And these programs are all kind of fused into SDG2. Um, there's a program, a nutrition program that helps improve the nutrition of pregnant women and children, um, especially those women who don't have enough nutrition during breastfeeding, pregnancy. And we understand that the Nigeria is the country with the second highest burden of stunting and malnutrition in the world, and children within their first 1,000 days, when this critical intervention is not made at the time when they need it, that's within that very window of the first 1,000 days, the damage is irreparable, or cannot be reversed. And that is where the program comes in to help these children get some form of intervention at that stage, and they are taken out of that form of malnutrition. So it's a program, of course, targeted at pregnant women as well. I work with primary healthcare centers to do this, right? Another program we run is a school also helps training. I don't know if I mentioned this while I was talking about my story. having to go to school as a child and not going to school with a lunch box, right? And then during break time, you just realize that, you know what, no money to spend during break time and no food to eat. So even going to school isn't as interesting as fun, right? And if not for just the will of God, I probably may have dropped out of school and wouldn't even be here addressing people. And there are several kids out there who have probably lost interest in going to school, right? Not because they don't have the brain or they don't have the interest, but maybe in school the gates are locked, they can't go out, and then they are hungry, you know, right? So that happens from, like, it still happens till date, right? And that is the essence of the school feeding program. Why we, ensure that we go to these schools, identify low-cost private schools, feed these kids 3 times in a week, and partner with their parents to feed them the remaining 2 times, right? So that we can able to scale the program to other schools. And it's important for us to ensure that we continue to carry on this intervention in every way we can, to ensure that we reach more schools and feed more kids in school so that their attendance rate can be increased. So yeah, that's the program we do. We also help people ask us, so do you mean you give people food? Like you just give them fish, you don't teach them how to fish? And then we say, no, we have a program that helps them, that trains them to have a backyard farm in their own house, right? We do the first seed investments, and then
Hi.
sorry,
So, okay,
hold
let's
on a second, please. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me.
yeah, I can hear you
Hello, can you hear me?
loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
I'm just trying to do like a backup,
Okay, no,
kind of.
that's fine.
I don't know if you can hear
That's
me.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, so good. So if you can hear me, I think you are muted. I need to be sure that I'm good to go. Okay, good.
Okay. Okay, let me unmute. Yes. Okay. Because I have two mics here,
Okay,
so I
good.
have to.
So and it's
Okay.
important for this intervention to continue in schools. I'm sorry, yeah, I was already talking about the family farming program that we run. Yes. Sorry, is it clear? Is my network clear?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
clear.
good. Good. So okay, so what I'm saying in essence is that we identify these women who are on our database as our beneficiaries who get food from us, and then we set them up on a family farming program. Okay, I didn't get that. Sorry.
I can hear you. Yes,
Okay,
I
good.
can hear you. I can hear you. Wow. The network is really interesting, but just ride with us, guys. Ride with us. This is a really great story, really great intervention. So please just ride with us, hang in there with us. If you're hanging there with us, please put it in the comments. Please put it in the comments that you're hanging there with us. You know how the network is. So just put it in the comments. We're with you. We're with you. We're with you. Okay, so it looks like there's some network glitches. Just put in the comments, we're with you. We're with you. We're with you. We're with you. Okay. Okay. So just kind of say we're with you. We're with you. We're with you. Okay. So we're just hang tight with us. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mrs. Barbara, Mrs. Ekwase, thank you so much. Kemi Joseph, Mrs. Kemi Joseph, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're with us, Thank you. Wow, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you. There he is. There he is. Thank you. The audience, they are putting in the comments that they are with us. So, you
Sincerely
know,
apologize. I don't know
no,
why
no,
this is happening.
that's the
Okay.
the era we are in with the network there. Thank you so much, Duntorhi. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Onuha. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so you were talking about taking some female beneficiaries from your database and then working on some interventions with them. So that's kind
Exactly.
of where you start. Mm,
Yeah. So this is done basically um to help them, become more self-sufficient, more self-reliant, and it's quite important because the truth be told, we cannot continue, to feed someone, for life, right? We at one point they have to be able to stand on their own and earn their living with dignity, right? And that is the essence of that program.
okay,
Good.
okay. So that's that. So you said you had that intervention. I know you talked about earlier about the you talked about the nursing mothers. You talked about the
Yeah.
providing
There,
interventions for them to.
yeah, there are six programs. There are six programs
Okay.
I've
Yes.
just mentioned to.
Yes, you did.
There's another program we run, right? Is a temporary emergency food assistance program. That's TFAP. A lot of people know us, know the food bank more with that program because it gets to engage a lot of people, a lot of volunteers. And what the program is about is just to provide relief for beneficiaries. We give them a box, what we call the box of hope, that can last them like for 2 to 3 weeks, depending on their family size. And we call it the box of hope because this is just to give them a glimmer of hope. That yeah, they are not alone in their struggles. And sometimes it comes at the right time for some people. And is a temporary relief program, right? And it gets to give a lot of us the opportunity to be able to, have that feeling, yes, yeah, we are helping people, and we give them what of course can be beneficial to them. So we've done this across several communities. A lot of volunteers have actually engaged on this program with us, the temporary relief program that we do with package boxes, and then we identify families and we give it to them, right? So people ask us, so how do you identify these people? Who are they? How do you find them? Right? How do you know that they're actually in need? A lot of people might fall into this category. Who are these people? So we take our time to identify them, we profile them, right? We go out on separate days to identify these families and we give them a voucher. A lot of our volunteers have been on this exercise with us and they've joined and they've seen that yes, yeah, these the people we are reaching out to are people that are actually in need and are not just any random person out there who just feels that no, I need to get this because they are giving it for free. No. So yeah, and then we do a job placement program. This also helps marry the skills of our beneficiaries with some menial job opportunity that can make them fend for themselves as well. So you can see we are very deliberate about how do we ensure that our beneficiaries are able to stand on their own, are able to earn a living, a decent income with dignity, feed their family, and don't have to come to the food bank. So we use our resources to ensure this happens. We marry them with this we call the food bank job. If you visit our social media page, food bank job, you get to see the people that come to collect their CVs at the food bank. We create CVs for them. We prepare them for interviews. We marry them with opportunities. We connect a lot of people, some of these men and women to opportunities in most of these companies as drivers, as I can go on and on like that, talking about these programs and how it helps to improve lives of vulnerable population out there, right? So um yeah, so these are the things we do, and then we have another program that help improve manage the condition of people living with diabetes. Is a nutrition related condition that we believe our dietitians can help manage. And just imagine living with diabetes and not having money to purchase the type of food that you are supposed to um, to be taking, right? The type of food they take is not the usual random food everybody takes, and some of these food are quite expensive as well. So we help them identify, manage their condition, give them some of this food, and so these programs are all interconnected. And the most important thing is that um, we are there giving assistance, help to people who are most in need, who are vulnerable, who are, at almost the lowest cadre of the pyramid. Um, and this we are doing with the help of volunteers, donors, corporate bodies, who are there helping us, ensuring that we continue what we do and then we don't give up.
Okay. So these are really amazing interventions that you have here. Now there was one intervention that you mentioned, where you are able to rally volunteers. So there's a culture already in our sector that says that it's very difficult to get volunteers in Nigeria. But based on your 15,000 over 15,000 volunteer database, you are proving us wrong. So, how are you able to rally volunteers to fulfill your mission?
Yeah, okay. So I will start by saying this, that um, in Nigeria we have a culture of volunteering. In fact, this country is blessed with human resource, with willing people, with kind-hearted people, vibrant young people. You know, I can just continue to use all the adjectives, to explain and describe how blessed we are as a country. And the work we do at the Lagos Food Bank kind of exposed me more to this resource. Um, I said that fighting hunger starts, excuse me, fighting hunger starts with doesn't start with a meal. It starts with those who serve, right? So you can have all the food, right, stored up somewhere. If you don't have people to help you distribute them, the fight against hunger cannot be won, cannot even be achieved, right? And then we saw what happened, during the NSAS period, where, I'm sorry, when what's it called? Warehouses were looted, and have items stored in warehouses. Some of the challenge that these organizations had was distribution challenges, basically. The challenges with having to distribute these items, right? And that's where volunteers come in. So, how to answer the question, how have we been able to rally around people? First is the fact that, yeah, people see for themselves. Like, first, there's a platform that gives an avenue, that gives the opportunity to serve, right? And it is transparent. That is very important. That is key. It is engaging. There's a difference between saying, I want to volunteer, and then on coming, you are idle. You don't want to come back because you have not been engaged. You don't feel like you are feeling any vacuum. You don't feel like you are needed. And that comes with a whole lot of creativity, you know, ensuring that when people come, they have come for a purpose. They must be engaged. They mustn't be idle, either mentally, physically, cognitively. They have to be engaged, and they must have a feeling that, yes, I use my money to take transportation. I'm going back using my money for transportation. I must have done something to show that I've added value to someone's life. And that must be done, right? If you want them to come back. And that's what we've been doing from day one. Volunteers, when they come in, we give them an opportunity to work. They are able to do the work. They are able to also see the people we serve, engage with them, and some way they're able to also connect. And we make it as fun as possible. There's this thing about the development space. It's sometimes I feel it's just too conventional. It's just too conventional. It looks like another extension of a church or mosque. That everything should just be too, this type of things. There are churches that do it, so we have to bring the church mode into the whole thing, or just making it too conventional. For me, I think it's just really out of it, right? What we are doing has no religious boundaries, right? We don't even bring religion into it, right? Take your piety, keep it somewhere, right? You have come here to serve humanity. So, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I might have to take water.
If
Sorry.
I was there, I would have got you some water.
Sorry, excuse me, please.
No, no worries. You're saying a lot. You know, you need to hydrate.
So, so basically, um, we try to demystify the whole thing about volunteering and make it as fun, as engaging as possible. We play secular music. We don't make people feel guilty, doing good work, right? We ensure that everything is as engaging as possible, and most importantly, right, people want to be sure that the cause they are supporting is as as says what they say they do. Before people want to give in their time sacrificially, right, they must see that you actually as very true to your mission and vision. You see, they can't move faster than you are moving. They can't have more passion than you have as the leader, right? So sometimes they tap from your energy, right? If your energy is contagious, they will tap from it as well. If you move, if you are lukewarm about what you're doing, the volunteers will get that message as well, and they won't be as so you must have the drive, must push, and then they get from that, and they also. So I make sure that, no, I don't just sit in the office to just make sure I'm driving this, right? I'm at the forefront of everything. I'm there. I make sure that I get to motivate a whole lot of them who see that, oh, this man is doing this. I think why can't I do it as well? So a whole lot of this go into why volunteers, why we attract volunteers, why we do what we do, and why they keep coming back, right? I've mentioned quite a number of things. Transparency is there. They must see that, yes, this is a brand or an organization they want to be part of, right? This is not an organization that kind of is formed to enrich the pocket of one person, right? One has to be mindful of all of this and ensure that it's not just a thing about, we want to make money. It's about the people. It's about, the lives we are touching. The priority is selfless. It's driven, it's born out of selfless drive to affect the lives of people. And that's what we are doing, and why the message we put out there. And communication must also be very, very clear. Volunteers want to be a part, but sometimes a lot of them are lost as to exactly what am I supposed to do? How can I do this? So we make communication as easy as possible, and then we do a whole lot of emails. So we communicate a whole lot with emails, and then we communicate what we do as well. So if you want more volunteers to come, the last work you've done, ensure to communicate it well, because that's what will bring the next volunteer to join, right? Before a volunteer join, they won't just join blindly. They want to see the work you've done. They want to see how engaging your work is. They want to see how they will fit in, right? And that we must ensure that we are communicating as well. Yeah. So that has been the journey really so far, and we keep getting volunteers. The truth be told, like, the volunteers keep coming in, and they get to buy their t-shirts as well. So yeah, that's to tell you,
Amazing.
like, the need for people to want to be part of something that is good, that is helping people's lives, right? So even if they have to pay to buy a t-shirt, they are willing to do that. That's to tell you how blessed our country is, that people can sacrificially give to serve selflessly. Like, really, it's important to laud it. Really, we are blessed as a country and as a people.
Wow, amazing, amazing. That in the issue of volunteer engagement, I think I'm going to actually, hopefully, have a talk with you just on that, because you've really gotten the model down to a science in terms of volunteer engagement, which is really amazing. So now we're going to go specifically towards the COVID-19 pandemic. How did that affect your work? And before you even start, I just saw a comment on here about, somebody made a comment here, Dr. Egbohan. She said you did a great job of feeding thousands of people in Lekki during the lockdown. So here, So I just want to kind of allude to your question. How did the COVID-19 pandemic affect your work?
Oh, great. So for us, the COVID-19 pandemic, especially the lockdown period, there were a lot of uncertainties around that period. And of course, it's not something I want to be talking about. Everybody's aware of what happened at that period. But what it did to us is that it brought us out of our comfort zone, um, and we were faced with a decision as to whether we want to face this, be on the front line. We didn't have the what's it called, the gloves and the mask and everything. This was a scarce commodity at the time. We were not sure whether we want to take the risk. And this thing about when people get to like, okay, we are doing this under the umbrella of Lagos Food Bank. If anything happens, it's Lagos Food Bank, right? We were careful at the same time. We needed courage to just move ahead and say, you know what, we just needed to do this, right? So it took a lot of risk, but it took us out of our comfort zone, and then we're able to help people. Right at that time, it was such a critical period moment for us that is still part of our success story till date, because it built our resilience. We were able to, we were stretched beyond limits. Like what we did, we never knew we could do it, right? Because we were practically going out every single day, and especially for me, it was such one of the toughest period of my life, right? That because I was at the forefront of everything, and the volunteers also needed me as a motivation to move on, right? Because they just needed someone to be at the front. Yeah, and this was a period where a lot of young guys were also on the rampage. Like they were they were ready to make a mess of whatever you want to come and do in the community, because most of them were at home as well, most of these stout guys. So we had a challenge, having to pass through them to meet the vulnerable people in those communities. And we're able to deal with most of them, and we're able to also work with them as well. Like dealing with them means working with them to achieve our goal, right? So at that point, we were able to work with a lot of brand organizations and corporate bodies who at that time wanted to help, right? But needed organizations that are actually on the front line helping people, right? So we were there, and that also opened us to opportunities that made us attract food resources, financial resources, right? If we didn't step out, we wouldn't even have been able to get those support that we got. And some of the organizations that are currently still with us today got to know about us during the lockdown, right? So what I'm just trying to say in essence is that the period was more of a blessing to us than a curse, right? As an organization, and the fact that we were able to assist people at the time they needed us the most, it was such a very, very eye-opening moment and time for us. And yeah, so it kind of expanded us, stretched us, and opened our eyes more to more communities. So during that period, we were able to do, I think about, almost 50,000 people, during that period, right? And we reached about 40, almost 30 something communities at that time. So you can just imagine, um, you know, you can, are you there?
I'm here. I'm
Okay,
here.
good.
I'm listening. Yes.
So you can just imagine what it took. Okay, good.
Amazing.
Yeah, you can just imagine, yeah, how, and then that period too, we called for volunteers, and that was also helpful because a lot of volunteers also came on board that period who felt bored at home and just, you know what, let's do this, right? Coronavirus or no coronavirus, we'll be fine, And then we were able to rally around a lot of, and volunteers were helpful. In fact, it was such a period that we can never forget, right? And nobody prepared for the period, but it's important sometimes. Courage is needed, and this thing called fear, really. If one really needs to move forward and make things happen, one must deal with fear. That's why I tell my team members that we needed to just do what we did, and by God's grace, everybody was nobody had a record of contracting the virus at that time, right? So
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing work. I feel like you all were just at the right place. Sometimes there's no such thing as luck. It's preparation meets opportunity. Similar to the corporate sector with Zoom and Amazon. Like in the development sector, you're already feeding the hungry, you're already doing the work, and then now with a pandemic like this, which made things worse, because more people were hungry, it's like, okay, they were looking for, because most people were indoors, including nonprofit organizations, but you all were out there. And it really made a difference. So again, thank you for the great work you and your volunteers. So you already alluded to stakeholder engagement in your conversation. You talked about engaging with some corporate sector partners. How were you able to work with other civil society organizations to further distribute food to more communities?
Okay, so that question is very, very important. And for people who are quite familiar with the development space, there's a point your work will get to. You know that you can't even some from the scratch, and some at a particular point you get to, you know that yes, you need partners. So the fight we are fighting is the fight against hunger, right? And hunger is not something that you do, you fight in season, like seasonally. Some is a continuous fight, like almost every day, every minute. People somewhere somehow is, are hungry, right? And we have to be always be out there. So working with partner organization, right? For us, we in 2020, when the need to reach out to more communities came and more support came, and we needed to just stretch, we started working with other non-profit organizations that our visions kind of align. So we onboarded 20 at the beginning. We increased it to 50. As we speak today, we have more than 100 NGOs that currently access food from our warehouse, and we
Right.
get to support them. They call us. Yes, exactly.
Amazing.
Yes. So the thing is that for these organizations, they are reaching some remote areas that we might not be able to reach at the time, and we then see that okay, we strategically picked organization in some local government, in some areas, in some remote areas, in some places that we know that we might not even be able to reach in an entire year, and then we onboarded them. We, they go through our the process of onboarding, and then they get our manual, and then they get to apply for raw food items that they pick to distribute, and then they send us the reports. So the figures and their direct and indirect beneficiaries also help count for the number of people we get to feed. So in that light, they get to fulfill their own goals of reaching their own community, their people, and then also we too were able to reach our goal as well of not directly now, but indirectly working with these organizations, right? So for us, it's something that it's quite, humbling and fulfilling for us as well, because I can remember how, we started. It was such a struggle, right? Even having to get resources to purchase food, and in just few years down the line, we are a hub that gets to give food to organizations to reach people. It's a journey for us that we are really, really very much happy about, and the fact
Michael,
that
I've seen your warehouse. It's amazing. I mean, it's
really
it's a
very well.
logistic network that you all have put together. Like, mind-boggling, honestly.
And
Amazing. Are you still there? Are you still there? Hello? We're at home stretch. We're at home stretch. I know.
I don't know if you can hear me. I can't
Okay,
hear
I can
you.
hear you now. So that is really, so you started with 20 and now you're at over 100 organizations, which is really something, because that's even a lot of value added, even as an organization, as an
I can't hear
institution.
you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear now. I can, but before I didn't
Okay,
hear what you were
okay,
saying. So
okay. I said you've really been able to strategically engage with non-profits and even community-based organizations in remote areas. And I think
Mhm.
that is a huge value that you have, especially in the development space, trying to really reach CBOs in remote communities. So, okay, looks like he should be up shortly. Should be up shortly. Should be up shortly. Looks like there's a, okay, there he is again. Let me just remove this and add, okay, add this. Okay, there you are. So I think I have one more question before I get to the audience. Okay, so everybody up on the platform, if you have any questions for Micheal, please make sure you put it on the comment section. I'm asking him his final question on the list. So if you have any questions, please put it on the comments. So in your work to feed the nation, in your expert opinion, how is the state of hunger in Nigeria, and where do we go from here?
This is this is a very very this is a massive question you've asked. I don't
No.
know how I can summarize it, but let me just summarize really.
Okay.
This is something that kind of touches on everybody. Like it's not those at the bottom of the pyramid now that should be talking about the issue of food inflation, high cost of food, how this is driving, pushing a lot of people into more poverty, right? And the state of hunger is getting really worse in our society today, and a lot of factors are responsible for this. Conflict in agricultural zones. Climate change is also driving a lot of problems as well. High cost of food. Ukraine-Russia war is driving this as well. A number of other factors like you know the, and conflict majorly. Most of our farmers can't even go to their farms anymore. Several reasons are causing food prices to go up and people to, of course, wallow in hunger. As we speak today, there are several reports out there, saying that there's one that just came out from FAO saying that more than 10 million Nigerians will go into more chronic hunger before July. From net of indices, we have National Bureau of Statistics saying that at least about 100 million Nigerians now, that's more than half of our population, you know, are in extreme poverty, right? Now, take hunger and poverty, put it side by side. If you don't have money, you will be hungry. If you are in poverty, you will be hungry. Like, rich people don't go hungry. That's the truth. If you have resources in your pocket, you will buy food, right? So the state of hunger as we speak is something that is what I always refer to as a ticking time bomb, right? And people are really, really struggling out there. And that's why there has to be a glimmer of hope, right? That's why we have to pay attention to our neighbors, just be more sensitive this period. Like a lot of people, can't even afford to buy food anymore, right? We know how much a pint of gari is now. We know how much a dedica of rice is now. And disposable income really is not increasing, and cost of living is going up, right? Minimum wage as we speak today, a lot of states can't even implement the 30,000 naira minimum wage. They are reverting back to 18,000. you know it's crazy. Like it's not a good one. It's what we are saying is really, really mind blowing as we speak, and a lot of families are struggling. So how do we move forward right now is the fact that we just have to do things right. Like it's more of a collective approach. Let's even start from our neighbors, right? Help your neighbor, identify them, see how, just be a form of help to someone around. And then check and see how you can meet some basic needs, right? Let's start from our neighbors, and then let's take it up to the government, how they can probably help farmers more to increase our productivity, a whole lot of things. But the state of hunger in the country right now, um you know it's something we can't um we can't really, we are not proud of as a nation, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the this, it's really something. Even us as individuals, when we go to the market, we know what's going on. When you want to buy rice and when you want to buy beans, you get what I'm saying. Things have become very expensive, so you wonder what happens to people who can't afford and people who are barely living, on 100 naira a day or 500
Yeah,
naira a day.
100 naira, 500 naira, 300
How
naira.
are they able to?
Yeah.
How are these individuals able to manage? So let me just get questions from the audience. Just a second. I think I saw one question. Just a second. So here's a question. What are some of um what are some of the challenges you come across with this program? Please, Mrs. Ekwase, which program? He talked about a list of about 6 programs. So if you can just be specific on which program you're talking about in terms of what challenges the organization is facing. So we're just gonna go with I think that is the question that I saw. So as she's coming up with that question, if she's still on the platform, I just want to quickly get your your final thoughts.
Okay, so I might be able to speak to that.
Okay. 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 So let me put that on the banner now and see. Okay. 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 She's talking about the feeding program. She's talking about the feeding program. Yeah, so she's talking about the feeding program. Can you hear me, Michael? Hello?
Yeah, you are
Hello,
kind
Michael?
of breaking, but
Yeah, so
I'm trying to.
she's talking about the feeding program. So she's saying, like, what challenges are you facing with regards to the feeding program? Okay, looks like there are some issues with the network on his end. Okay, there he is. So let me just. Oh, okay, there you are. So I think she was asking, what challenges do you face? Does the organization face regarding the feeding program?
Okay, so regarding the feeding program, it was more of a challenge we had at the beginning, which was the questions people were asking around sustainability. So how do you get to sustain? How do you ensure that you don't burn out? This is a marathon, not a sprint, and all of that. So, another challenge of the having people to get a buy-in on the food banking concept. you know Food banking concept is as a means of solving problem of hunger is still relatively new in our climate. So, and there are a lot of existing narratives that will kill such concepts, like, you don't give people fish, you have to teach them how to fish, right? And all of that. So, those narratives already are there, when you have a feeding program that would naturally just, not make a lot of companies buying. So, we had that challenge. And then we had to explain to them, right, that, um, you know, this is a program that is meant to give people hope. This is a program that is meant to offer temporary relief. This is a program that is meant to be like a conduit pipe for people, like, to have a glimmer of hope, so that they don't go hopeless, so that a need can come at a time when it's needed. If you look at our truck, we have this truck where we have this inscription that other trucks deliver packages, we deliver hope. So what we do for the feeding program now, because I am concentrating on the feeding program and not the nutrition program or the family farming program or the school feeding program. So for the feeding program, is the problem is the problem was the problem of having to get people to buy a buy-in of a lot of individuals and people. And of course, when we didn't give up and people could see how we are solving problems, I was at one of these companies yesterday making a presentation, and their MD asked a question that why do you think we should continue supporting this program, and why do you think this is not helping people become lazy, right? It's like giving the fish to them. And then I went on to explain to them that, see, I went through this challenge, right? I went through this phase, and I know what, you know, I know what just somebody coming to say, you know what, have this, you guys should cook, what it would mean. It's something that would never have left my memory, right? So several families are still out there going through this, and we have to be there to support. And if we take this step, this will encourage other food banks to start as well. And now that's what we are saying. Several food banks are starting because we are now helping other food banks help through that beginning stage of that stage where they get to struggle a whole lot and they give up. So now, if we have in the US, there are 2,000 food banks and more than 60,000 food pantries in the US. As good as their economy is, they still have SNAP program from the government. Now, imagine the number of lives being touched, right, by the number of food banks under one network. There are other ones that are not even reported at all. You can imagine a 60,000 food pantries and a 2,000 food bank in Nigeria alone. You know that would have complemented the effort of the government. And then we are here, talking down on initiatives that are meant to help people and give them hope, right? And then we have neighbors that are coming to beg us that please give us something. We've not eaten, and then we can advance the cause. So those are the challenges we face. We face challenges of sustainability, which from our records of financials, we are doing well in terms of, if we don't receive donation for the next, it's not about bragging. For the next 2 years, we'll still continue our work because we have savings to help us drive sustainability and continue what we do. And then we to ensure that, and then we also have plans on how to make more, to be able to do more. So it's not so it depends on our determination, right, on how to get this going and to continue the work basically. So I don't know
Amazing.
if I answered your question.
I feel like you are um one a donor darling because you have a sustainability model. You understand? You're not going anywhere, and that is the challenge of most non-profits around the country: is sustainability. How they are able to keep going, how they are able to, pay staff and keep operational costs going. And the fact that you've really gotten that down to a science is a really laudable feat, Michael. I don't think you
Thank
and
you.
your team realize what this means, because this is the major challenge. Because as an organizational development expert, that is one of the major challenges of nonprofits in Nigeria, in Africa, is sustainability. And you've been able to nail that down in terms of making sure that you're sustainable so that you can continue your operations. Again, amazing. And the fact that you were able to weather the storm of the beginning stages of starting a nonprofit. Now you're able to even impact more food banks going through that teething phase. So he said, look at where we are. We were where you were before. So amazing work. So I'm just ask you for your final thoughts. I think you've really said a lot, but if there are any other words you want to say before we leave. This has been such, though the net Nigerian network does not want us to win, but we won because this was an excellent episode. So if you could just give us a concluding thought, to end the program. Are you still there? Hello?
Yes.
Are you still
So
there?
my final thoughts is it's just as simple as this, right? um we all have a role to play in making our world a better place, really. um really there are no excuses like that, oh okay, I don't have the resources, or I don't have the time, or I don't. Either ways, we have something to give, we have something to part with. Can you hear me? Oh, my network is bad.
I can hear
I
you.
don't know
I
if you
can
can
hear
hear
you.
me.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I was just saying that my final thought is like we have something to we all have something to when it comes to making our world a better place, right? We all have a role to play. All hands has to be on deck. We have to stop the blame game. We have to look at ways in which we can also influence policies, and do our own parts, right? As a person, as a people. Um, there will definitely be challenges in getting to solve problem for another person, because you want to even think of my own problem. I've not even finished solving it, let alone going out to help solve problem for other people, and then doing it pro bono, doing it without even getting anything in return. And this is where I also have to commend you, for this what you are doing for. Like, it takes a whole lot of courage and resilience, to continue this, really, because putting the work of development leaders out there as well, and showcasing their work, letting people, one or two people or three people or more would have known about food bank today, right? And such people can actually be the connecting factor to the next donation we are going to have, or the next volunteer we are going to have, right? And this is a great work. And really, there will be challenges, but you know what? We have to just continue, you know, to make sure that, yes, we are here for a purpose. And that purpose is what gives us fulfillment. And that's where we draw our strength from. What is the point of living life if we can actually make life of other people better? So yeah, those are mine. And I'll continue to say this. Like, I spend time in court, right? I last week I was still in court, but the time I spend on the field, I enjoy it more, right, than the time I spend in court, because this I get a lot of joy and fulfillment, just being on the field helping people, right? Yeah.
Well done, well done, well done. Thank you so much for the great work that you're doing. So just one more thing. So if people here want to be a part of what you all are doing at the Lagos Food Bank Initiative, how can they get a hold of you? Can you hear me? So if they
Yeah,
want to
it's
get,
breaking.
yes. So if people want to partner with the Lagos Food Bank Initiative as a volunteer, as a donor, how can they how can they connect with you?
Yeah, so great one. So we have a social media page. We are very active on social media. Just type Lagos for Bank on Instagram. Ask any question you want to ask. Someone will respond to you almost immediately. So you can send us a DM. There are contact phone numbers on our Instagram pages. You can go on Google and just type Lagos Food Bank. There are questions there already popping out on Google you might want to ask. On our website, it's very engaging. You'd say, even to become a beneficiary organization as well.
Okay.
To
So what?
all this information, they are out there. They are out there. Just
Okay.
put it on Google. Anything you want to learn on food bank, put it on Google. Just ask Google. Google will answer you. I'm telling you, Google, everything. We have a lot of information everywhere. So Google has a way of just pulling all those information together and answering the questions.
Okay. So I'm going to just put this up. So again, thank you so much. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much, Michael, for being here and taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to join us to talk about what you're doing on the field and talk about what you're doing on the sector. So again,
Mm-hmm.
the Lagos Food Bank Initiative, I have seen it with my own eyes. They are doing awesome work. He's not just talking, he's walking the walk. So again, if you want to join, and there was already a testimonial on the comments of the great work you did in Lekki during COVID-19, and you've worked with many communities across the country, and I'm just excited about the great work you're doing. Again, thank you so much, Michael, for coming.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you very
All
much
right,
for having me. Thank you.
take
Take
care.
care. Yeah.
So again, thank you so much for watching our conversation with Micheal Sunbola, the Executive Director of the Lagos Food Bank Initiative. Thank you so much. Again, please like and share so that we can get this to more people. We talked about feeding the nation and talking about how they started and what they're doing, the hundreds of organizations they're reaching out to, and the millions of lives that they have impacted. Okay. So next week, we are going to be talking about using technology to measure social impact. We talked about social impact today with Micheal Sunbola, how he's fed and impacted multiple beneficiaries around the country. Now we're going to be talking about how do you measure this through technology. So we're going to be talking with Joe Bennett, the CEO of Tola Data. Okay. And also we are working on post-production of Untold Impact, we're beginning to edit, we're working on and just getting something really good for you. And soon enough, we're going to have a trailer. So more on that coming soon. Okay. So again, thank you so much for being here with us. And we're going to change the world together, y'all. Thank you so much for coming. Take care. Bye bye.